Okay, we are going to talk a little bit this evening about responsibilities of our um, members of parliament, I suppose, and we're going to talk a little bit about who is responsible for doing what in the constituency, because I think that sometimes we take for granted certain. It's kind of like, when you like you grow up, when you hear a particular song, or you hear um a particular saying, and you don't know exactly what you hear it a certain way, and you've been repeating it for years, and only to find out that, wait, that's not actually how the lyric of the song goes, or that's not exactly how the saying goes, or that's not the entire saying. Or sometimes you grow up in a community and there is somebody who you call Mr. So and so, or Mass, or Miss So and so, but that's not their actual name. You hear somebody dead and they say, oh, eh, um Elizabeth Brown from, and you're like, who the hell is Elizabeth Brown? This is my community, I don't know nobody by that name. So I think what happens is, in Jamaica, there we take for granted so many things in respect of information, right? And sometimes people, it's kind of like, when you, so sometimes, like, it's, we even see that happening in the workplace. Like, you get a job, and because people are used to doing things a particular way, um when you go there now and you see what is happening, you're like, but this is not right, and you begin to raise a concern. Then they're looking at you with the side eye, like, what are you talking about? This is how we have been doing it all this time, and nobody had an issue with it, so why are you complaining? And that is the that is a problem, because we see it happening in our country, right? And I think this is coming on the heels of the recently concluded general elections. I think they're doing some recounts now, because there are some constituent, I guess, I don't know if it's by law or by tradition. This one I'm not sure about. Once the seats are close in terms of the counts, if it's like anywhere between under 250 counts, so let's say you won by 250 votes, it's an automatic magisterial recount, meaning it will go into the court system, and because sometimes there are ballots that are considered to be spoiled or defective or whatever. They don't know who you vote for, or they can't tell where you put the marking, because some people are not all that sensible. I mean, it's kind of weird that you'll have people voting for years, and you still have this issue of ballots being spoiled, or people not knowing that they need to check their voting, which division they're voting in, even though I think that you should vote wherever you are. The Electoral Office of Jamaica, I believe it should be updated so that persons vote wherever you're living. Because I am living in Montego Bay, but my vote is in St. Anne, and I have not lived in St. Anne for 15 years. But that's where my vote is, and I'm not leaving Montego Bay to go to St. Anne to vote. I'm not doing that. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So it is, and I think they should, you know, at the very least, give people an opportunity to go online, and either you use a utility bill just like the bank asks for, or you go to an electoral office and you can, you know, show that this is the division that I'm in. Because to me, it makes no sense that you're living someplace but your vote is in a totally different parish. That makes no sense. Because if, let's say, somebody was living in Kingston in 2024 and they moved to Portland in 2025, their vote is going to be in Kingston. That's the system that we have right now. That's where your vote is going to be. So you're going to have to leave Portland, go all the way back to Kingston to vote. That does not make any sense, because if you're no longer living in Kingston, what are you voting for? Because really and truly, we are supposed to be voting for the member of parliament. That is how you're supposed to be casting your vote. When you go and you look at the ballot, what is on the ballot is the names of the people who are contesting the seat in that particular constituency. It's not Andrew Holness and Mark Golding on there. It is the name of the member of parliament that you're voting for. So it makes no sense for me to leave all the way, go to St. Anne to say I am casting my vote. I don't know those people up there. But that is how the system is. Then put you, this is where your polling division is, and you can't vote. You can't just go to the nearest poll, which to me is what makes sense. You go to the nearest place to you that is a polling station and you vote. That's how it should be. But that's not how it is. You have to find you. So some people will turn up at a place, a polling station. They're like, well, this is not your division. And you have to find your division. And sometimes I guess that too affects the voter turnout, because it doesn't mean that people don't show up to vote. Is that people just don't know where they show up, but it's like, well, this is not where you're supposed to be voting, and they probably get fed up and go back home. Or as we have seen reported in the news, where persons were standing in line for 2 hours or 3 hours because there were issues at some of the polling divisions. And of course, you're going to have a lot of people who will have to leave, because if you have to get back to work, you can't stand in line for 2 hours. You understand? You'd have to leave and forego the opportunity to vote. So we can't take the voter turnout percentage in a vacuum either, because of course there would have been a lot of factors that contribute to that. You're looking at persons who may have been overseas. You're looking at persons who may have migrated since the voter list has been updated. And so I think, to me, the EOJ should, those are factors that we shouldn't just take it in a vacuum. We say, oh, only 39% of Jamaican voted. Okay, because it gives the impression that the 70% sit down and didn't do anything. But I'm sure there are persons who probably showed up to vote, and for whatever reason they had to leave. Either they went to the wrong polling station, they couldn't find a polling station, or there was just too long of a wait and they had to leave, or they went to work and they didn't get some of these employers, they don't want to be giving you your time so that you can go and do whatever and exercise your franchise. A lot of people don't know that. They don't want to give the employees their time to leave and go and vote. It is a problem. I even had a situation where the supervisor was asking people if they're going to vote. And it's like, you're not supposed to be asking people if they're going to vote. That is not your business. Whether or not, because if you go on the EOJ website, whether or not the person is going to vote, you have to give them the 4 hours by law. Because of course you can change your mind. So you can't say, oh, well, this person said they're not going to vote, so you don't get the 4 hours. The 4 hour is mandatory. But they were asking, who is going to vote? You're not supposed to be asking people that. You're supposed to monitor the employees to say, okay, we need, if you have 5 people, okay, 3 persons can go in the morning, 2 persons go in the evening, or 2 persons go in the morning, so uno pick. And if them no want to pick, then you decide, right? But you can't tell people that they can't get there. Even if they're not going to vote, they're entitled to the 4 hours off. But a lot of employers don't want to do that. I saw a few videos because, like I did raise a concern about what happened in Portland with the Anne-Marie Vaz Isaac Buchanan seat, right? And I was very curious because, of course, the information that is out in the public domain is Anne-Marie was doing a good job. She was working. She's a new MP. This was her first time running. And she was actually working in the, at least from what we saw, she was working in the community and she was doing some stuff, whatever. So we're thinking, okay, cool, MP doing the work. It's a secure seat because in Jamaica, unfortunately, most members of parliament from them win the seat, that's it. Nobody sees them anymore. So when you have a Rhoda Crawford and a Anne Marie Vaz who they come in their new MP first time MPs and they're hitting the ground running, it's kind of like a no-brainer. You're thinking that, okay, well, the people are going to support them because they are doing the actual work. And so when Anne Marie lost her seat, mind you, I don't know this lady and I have no skin in the game. I just find it to be a peculiar case. But she seemed to have been doing stuff. So what happened? What is it that we don't know? That the people of Portland, I think it's East Portland or whatever, like come to the front of the class and explain to us what went down in this constituency, why you guys voted her out, even though from the outside looking in, it seems as if, and I wish to God I knew someone from down there so we could probably come on here and have a conversation. But I saw a few videos and they're not making any sense. They're not making no sense because one of the video owners say, well, a road alone she when I work on, a road is not the only thing in the constituency, which, okay, fine, road is not the only thing in the constituency that needs addressing. And then I saw another lady, she came out saying, oh, they murdered the PNP MP that was down there and was MP for 40 years. And this is what I don't understand with Jamaicans. Because the partisan politics vexes me. It is a very vexatious issue for me. Because if I am living in a particular constituency and we have, since the day I was born, to me growing into adulthood, we have the same issues. I don't see how we can be advocating for one party or the other. It makes no sense to me. Because she was saying, oh, the MP councillor, I don't remember the name, he called the name, granted somebody murdered the man, and she's alleging that it was the JLP people killed the man because they wanted to put Anne Marie down there. And I don't know why she would come and, this is another thing with people and Jamaicans on TikTok. You cannot come on the internet and make unsubstantiated claims, calamitous remarks, damaging remarks about somebody unless it is true. You can't do that. You cannot make serious allegations about a person unless you know for a fact. And when I say I know, I don't mean somebody tells you. I mean you know. You have seen it with your two eyes for a fact that this person did the thing. You can't do that. Because she was saying that they murdered the MP. Rosemary is saying the era is traditionally the PMP era. They got a PMP that seems to have substance. Listen, I'm not from Portland. I have never been to Portland. I don't know anybody from Portland, Rosemary. But I am an outsider looking in. If this man was the member of parliament for 40 years, why were the roads not fixed? That does not make any sense to me. You cannot come out and be defending, okay, all right, so you're not from there. Okay, no, I'm saying, my thing is, because there was this girl, I saw her, she did a TikTok and it's like, she was accusing the JLP. I don't recall if she was accusing the Vazes, that is Anne Marie and her husband, of killing this PNP MP so that they can install. I'll just say that she was accusing the JLP, brawling to, on the internet. And it's like, girl, you can't do that. These people believe that the internet the internet cannot protect you. You being on TikTok does that. People will find your yard and kill you. And then she called out her name and she was showing where she lived and she told them where she lived. I'm like, is this girl's dumb? I mean, she looked dumb, but she looked dumb because I'm like, what she was saying never make no sense. So she showed her house. So she was on TikTok. She showed her house, which isn't really a house. It's like a little, when you it looked like one little fold cube. You know, like when you build up a little fold cube, that's how it look. But that's where she claims that she live. And she was saying that, oh, they were giving out jobs, and I guess she not get none. She called one ex-man name. I think the man is the counselor. And she say, when she go, them check to see who you vote for. I don't know how they do that. They check to see who you voted for. And if you didn't vote for the JLP, the man run your time. He say, come out of my yard. Or if he's not sleeping, if he's not sleeping with you, I don't know if a man or woman, if he's not sleeping with you, then you can't get whatever. No. This is, I saw another young man saying he was, he seemed to be from Portland, was this Rasta dude. I responded to his post because I said, what you're saying does not explain why unnu vote out the lady, because he was saying, I know you think road is not the only thing in the constituency, blah blah blah. So of course I had to look up what are the responsibilities of a member of parliament, because people do not understand. If you don't have a job, the member of parliament cannot come and give you personally a job. That's not how it works. The member of parliament this is what people don't understand. The MP's responsibility is to go into parliament and advocate on your behalf. That is the MP's job. That is the MP's job. It is not so when it comes to roads and stuff like that, that is the mayor's responsibility. People don't understand. You have a custos, right? What is the custos there for? We remember there are all these positions that are in a parish. We need to understand what they position them for. They're not just there for show. They have responsibilities. So the mayor manages the parish. So when it comes to schools and roads and stuff like that, that is the mayor's responsibility. The councillors, if you notice, the councillors are not, you don't have one councillor for the entire parish. You have councillors for each division. So the councillor for your specific division, which you should know because you should be voting in the local government election for your councillor. If the road in a few area bad, that is the councillor's responsibility to bring that to the attention of the mayor. Right? That is the councillor's. So the actual stuff that happens, this is what people don't know. The actual stuff that happens in the community is really between the mayor and the councillors, not the MP. The MP is a what? A representative. So the MP goes to parliament to represent your interests. That is it. If I know that the way the thing is, and it's so hard to change because we saw what happened when Damian Crawford was trying to change the mindset. Because when you go, this is why I couldn't run for politics, because I'm the kind of person who, okay, I'm a member of parliament. Okay, what are my responsibilities? That's what I'm going to do. Give me the job description. What is it that I am supposed to do? If I'm not supposed to be in the country overseeing whether road are fixed or not, I'm not in the parish overseeing. I'm not going to be in the parish depot road with contractor man a fixed road. I'm not going to do that shit if it is not my responsibility. That is not the MP's responsibility. Is in parliament. They are supposed to be. Think of the MP as an ambassador to a country. So if you have an ambassador to the United States of America, where does the ambassador live? In the United States of America. And that ambassador lobbies on behalf of your country for certain things. So let's say there is the US Department of State issue a warning to say don't travel to Jamaica because Jamaica is dangerous and harsher than cow fat. Um, the ambassador from Jamaica to the US would now lobby the State Department to say, what can we do to get you to lift this ban? So that is the MP's job. The MP is like the ambassador for the parish. The MP is not supposed to in a parish or oversee roadworks. That is not the MP's job. That is between the mayor and the councillors in each division. You understand? So I had to go look it up because, you know, we come and we normally see, because we're expecting that, boy, you know, me pity them to go back to school, and that's your responsibility as a matter of fact. No, where the party comes in, if you have, when it comes to like economic activity, that is where the prime minister comes in, where the prime minister is supposed to manage the overall, the country. So when it comes to crime and violence laws, because more often than not, the MP, how the MP helps you is by voting on certain laws. That's literally, they're legislators, really. They're going to go in a parliament and vote for certain laws or certain policies. That is going to now help, not just, obviously it's not going to just be for you guys, but it's going to help. When the law is passed, it's going to help everybody, including their constituency. That is how it works. Just like how you see, like with the Mobe bypass and the whatever, you understand, they say, okay, we want a bypass from Montego Bay. That would be, that is what your MP is supposed to be lobbying for. If there's no connect between Portland and Kingston and there can be whatever, the MP would lobby for that to get like a highway moving straight from Portland to, or connect a portion of the highway from Portland to Kingston, or whatever the case may be. That would be what the MP would lobby for, because that now would increase traffic to Portland, and that traffic now would increase economic activity. Because remember, you know, when you have an influx of people into a particular location, automatically businesses are going to just spring up out of that. Because remember, during COVID, you know, there were some businesses that came out of COVID because there was a need, and some people jump on the need and fulfill the need. So your MP is not supposed to be there saying, oh, we're going to give back. Of course, they can help with little things, of course, because they do get a constituency fund, right? But their thing is to make law, right? To help to approve the national budget. So they want to make sure, so when the government craft the budget, some of the money are going to go towards help for them parish. So these are big ticket items, right? You're looking at constituency development fund. So that fund is to support small projects like the school repairs, community centers, and scholarships. School repairs, community centers, and scholarships. That's what the constituency development fund is for, and I think that's $15 million, right? And then you're looking for advocacy. So if you don't have no water in the parish, the MP can bring water there. The MP would lobby the government. The MP would go in parliament and chat and cuss and say, a long time my people them not have no water and we want water down there. The MP can bring water to you. The MP would have to beg the government basically to allocate funds so that them can improve the water infrastructure in their parish. So it's advocacy. That's their job. They would advocate. So if the road them want to fix, of course the mayor would know which road, because the mayor and the council should really know. And they would bring that to the member of parliament, and the member of parliament would go into parliament. That's why you will watch those parliamentary sessions and you see them get up and attack. That's their job. Literally, if you go in a parliament, go talk on your behalf. The MP is like a liar. So police lock you up, fling you in a jail, and you go before court. You don't understand rule of court. The liar have to talk for you. That is what the MP's job is. The minutia, the day-to-day thing with the constituencies is not the MP's job. They tend to do it though because people don't understand what the role of the MP is. So it's kind of like if you in a parliament a chat with them, they now watch the parliamentary sessions anyway. When parliament in session, nobody's watching that shit. Because it's boring, it's 8 hours and nobody's sitting down watching parliament for 8 hours to see where your MP went into the chat say. You might catch one little piece funny, you might catch a little 5 minutes of it on the news, and unless some uproar went go on in the way they went across back and forth between each other, you won't even know say your MP went in a parliament a chat for you. But that's their job. They are like a lawyer going into the court to petition the court to say, my client is innocent. And here are the reasons why my client is innocent. That's the MP's job. But the way all Jamaicans licky and greedy and love stretch out there and beg for everything, the MPs now have to be taking on the roles of line supervisors where they are physically in the parish and give people money. That they're not supposed to be doing that. They're supposed to be is a member of parliament. They're supposed to be in parliament representing you. So whatever problems you have in the constituency, the MP go in a parliament, go say, yo, my people, them say, them want water, you know, my lad. So water me come in here, boy. When me people go get water, me general. That's what the MP, that's literally the MP's job. The road them bad and want fix is not really the MP's job to fix the goddamn road. The MP's job is to go into parliament and say to the parliament, say, yo, the people them don't array. Down at my place, the road them down the bad. We not no road. So we no depend on nothing. We want some road, my lad. When you know run the road, we want a timeline for that. That's the MP's job. So we need to understand the roles and the responsibilities. So if you are poor, as a lot of people do not understand. I forgot to understand in your heart. A lot of people do not understand the responsibilities that they have as individuals. So them put themselves in these difficult situations. Either you're poor, you grew up in a poor home, and then you have 2 children. And it's like, if you couldn't pay for yourself, why you get up and have 2 people? I know you're saying the government, this and the government. This is not a government issue. It's not a government issue. If the economic situation is bad, because it's the government's responsibility to create jobs, right, or to stimulate economic activity so that jobs can be created, to make it easy for you to start your own little business, so remove a lot of the bureaucracy in starting a business and so on. That is where the government comes in. If you have a little farm where you want to start, then the government can provide grants and stuff like that, and maybe training in husbandry or whatever to help you because a lot of people do stuff and them not understand how to do it. If you're gonna have a farm, especially if it has to do with like fruits and vegetables, you need an irrigation system. Then probably can come and help and teach you how to set up an irrigation system so that your crops don't dead or weed or whatever no kill your crop. You understand? So, and that's where RADA comes in. And so if you have an organization like RADA, the government's job, like this is where the member of parliament as a whole, the MPs and the prime minister comes into play, where they're going to make sure that the policies that governs RADA are going to make it easy for us to access those services. So, if you go through whole heap of rigmarole just to get one little $15,000 to buy one pump fee, you understand? That is the government's job. That the prime minister's job is to manage the entire country and to ensure that, on the internet. That is why you look at. So if Jamaicans have a problem traveling, that's a prime minister issue. If I want to travel to the United States of America and a problem for me travel to America because I am a Jamaican, you have to cost the prime minister for that. Because he now needs to lobby the US government for Jamaicans to say, yo, what go on with when my people try to come in the country and some bullshit, my lad? What's going on here? How can we fix it? How can we make the experience more seamless for Jamaicans? You want to go to China and China depends some bullshit. It is the prime minister's job through its foreign ministries, consulate, Charles Day Affairs, whatever, ambassadors, to lobby China to say, yo, what go on between, like, what's going on? My people have problems if come to China when they travel to China, my lad. So what's the problem that you guys are having so we can address them? Because we know one Jamaicans that come to China in a problem in general. England, you have problems going to England. It is the prime minister's responsibility through these foreign agencies, whether it is an embassy that them have in England or wherever, if you go to the UK government and say, what's going on here? Like, why are you making it difficult for my people to come to England? And then work that out. So if you have no issues traveling to other countries when you travel, that's the government, that's your government working behind the scenes. That's part of the responsibility of the government. Right? So we need to understand the different, everything, we blame, so Andrew is the prime minister, and if we hit that, we will blame Andrew. That's not how it works. So when we see, if, let's say you have poor, so when we look at like employment, when we look at labor standards, you can blame the prime minister for that, because that is a legal issue. If you are going to work and your employer and pay you for your overtime because there's some wiggle room in the law, if you are working at a hotel like I was working and you're on contract from you the start of the hotel until 50 years later to Pussyclat, you're almost at 1 foot in the grave and you're not a member of staff, that is something you can blame Andrew for, because there's no need to revisit the Employment Act and ensure that employees are protected from unfair labor practices. So if it is an unfair labor practice, then you can blame the government for that. If it's, when you look at like the Road Traffic Act and the police harassing the people and whatever, you can blame the government for that, or you can blame Andrew for that, because he now must look at the laws that are giving the police these powers and make an assessment. And of course you can blame your MP as well, because your MP is also a lawmaker, because they must go into parliament and say, yo, this can't work because it affect my people, right? And put forward a motion in parliament, bring forward a motion in parliament to make whatever change, because that's their job. So we need to understand. So I still would love to hear from the people from Portland. I don't have any skin in the game as far as, because you know, I did not want the JLP to win. I don't believe in third terms. I think that when these because we saw the PMP was there for 18 years and they became complacent, and there was this kind of arrogance that they were dealing with, and it's kind of like, well, you can chat where you want to, because we're going to win anyway. You understand? So they become kind of, the power get to them head, and they stop doing what they stop acting on behalf of the people, and they start serving themselves. And I guess the good thing coming out of this election is that it's a sobering reality for the JLP, because they lost 15 seats. So if they may get back the 49 seat, God help we. But they lost 15 seats. So even though they win, it is a sobering victory. But I did not want them to win. No, nobody know, because it's not like they were doing that well. If you say, oh, you know, it's a no-brainer. It's not a no-brainer. The Prime Minister is still under investigation for corruption. He should have stepped down. If Andrew had stepped down in light of, because this is, I want to see accountability. When the PMP is no better, you know, because when is there people that do some bullshit, them trying to back them up, and why me say what, John? What are you referring to? Why me say what? What are you referring to, so I can explain? The only way I will support any government, any party, is when I see accountability. When Dalrymple was under investigation because some 5 million business where they go do some hanky-panky for your brother or sister-in-law with car and whatever. Okay, why I didn't want the JLP to win? That's what I am explaining. I did not want the JLP to win again because there was no reason for them to get a third term. It's not like they were doing all that wonderful that it's a no-brainer. It's like I don't see the point of changing the government. The thing is, each 10 years is more than enough time for a government to implement its manifesto. 10 years is long term, right? Towards the end of the 10 years, it is in the last year, Andrew did an underhanded thing. And the actions of the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, it vexes me so bad, because what Andrew did was in the year, if you notice, most of the things that Andrew did was right before he called the election. If you notice, the minimum wage thing gone from one, look in the short period of time, because he raised the minimum wage again, just before he called the election, the minimum wage went from, so last year it went to 1.7 million. And recently, I don't know how recently, they changed it from 1.7 to almost 1. It basically 1.8, it's 1.799 something to almost 1.8. And that was because he knew, because there's a thing that is called recency bias. You can look it up. So what he was doing, he crammed a lot of stuff. The income tax threshold, that's what I'm talking about. He crammed a lot of stuff towards the latter part of his what you call it? The latter part of his governance, right? Because he knows when the people go to the ballot to vote, the latter part of his term, thank you, when the people go to the ballot to vote, they are going to remember those things. Oh, Andrew just gave me a house. So remember, he was going around giving people house like he was poor. He was what that woman in the US named Oprah. Remember, he was just giving away house like nothing, right? And he was fixing roads, and he was starting these new projects, and he was just there was just so much that he was doing, right? Because he knew he was going to call the election, so he started to do all of these things because people are going to remember that. And if you just get a house 2 months ago an election called two months later, who you go vote for? This money will give you the house. Because you're not going to look at this overall performance. The worrying thing for me was that there are 6 people in the JLP that are being investigated for illicit enrichment. The Prime Minister and his wife being one of them. The Prime Minister appointed his wife as the Speaker of the House. That should never have happened, because there's a glaring conflict of interest there. Because how are you going to adjudicate on matters that involve you or your husband? That should never have happened, because you have to Fernbar say he saw that the people like the PNP ideas and decided to come with the minimum wage increase. No, I wouldn't give that to the PNP. The PNP copied the JLP's minimum wage increase farm boss. Remember back in 2016 when Andrew said that he was going to raise the minimum wage from 500,000 to 1.5 million. Remember? The PNP said that can't happen. It is not going to work, and the government cannot afford it. How are they going to pay for it? They're going to tax people to this, that. Remember, the minimum wage was 500. Not the minimum, I keep saying minimum wage. The income tax threshold was 500,000. Andrew's party in 2016 said, and that's why they won, because that's why I voted for Andrew in 2016. Because I don't know what the hell the PNP was talking about. Never made no sense to me. It's, oh, it can't be done. I'm like, of course it can be done. Fuck are you talking about? You're just gonna collect it back in tax. As if you give people more money, I mean, we broke. It's not like say we have money like that where we go sit down money. We're going to spend back the money, you're going to collect it back in the 15% GCT where they charge on goods and services. So like, what are you talking about? You're just giving us the money to give back to you. Like the fuck? What are people gonna do with the money when they get it? Spend. So you're gonna collect it back in taxes. We're not gonna save the money. No, we're not. We're gonna collect. We're going floss. We're going to eat our food, and that is 15% tax coming out of it. So you're going to get the money back in tax. Now, what you would need to do, which is what they did, is empower the TAJ to increase their tax collection efforts, and the TAJ did. They ramp up their tax collection and they collect. As a reminder, the taxes are being collected, but most of the businesses collecting the tax not turning it over to the government. That is a problem. The government is not collecting. If the government is not getting 100% of the tax that is being collected, that's not happening. I think they're getting like 30% or 40% of what is being collected. So they had to increase their collection effort so that they can, because the revenue is there. They just need to collect it from the people who are collecting it on their behalf. And the TAJ did that, right? So it moved from 500, the income tax threshold moved from 500,000 to 790,000 and then to the 1.5 million. The JLP did that. Then they came back and in their manifesto, they had increased the minimum wage, but they never put a figure there. If you go back to the manifesto, it is in there. So it's the PMP that copied their idea. Rosemary says we really wanted the PNP to explain their plans. We couldn't get it. I don't think that's why the PMP lost, though. I don't think that's why the PMP lost. The PMP, I believe the PMP was in cahoots with the JLP. Andrew had to win. Andrew had to. It's just because my lives are usually long. I'm gonna try to find me saying Andrew have to win the election, because Andrew, you need to understand where we're headed for 2030. That's why they changed the Jamaica dollar. Remember, so them change our currency to these fuckery currency where them not even like them wash out. Why did that happen? And you see they're pushing this digital, the past needs. A lot of people don't know that needs it's past, them past needs. So Andrew is supposed to bring in the digital stuff, right? And they're gonna take the jobs. So they're gonna try to introduce AI into these businesses, and a lot of people are supposed to. I don't know how it's going to work, because Jamaica is kind of unique than the rest of the world, because we are still very much manual in a lot of the stuff that we do. I mean, you still have big book assigned when you're going to a government place. So I don't know how they're going to do it. It's going to take a lot of money, but remember, they have Bill Gates backing them, because Bill Gates, I think, was here, right? They have the World Bank, because the World Bank came. Remember, Banga came in, I think, 2023, right? And he did give Andrew some money. So Andrew was selected to bring us into 2030, so he had to win. And I wouldn't be surprised if him lose the election, but them shift round some seats and make sure that the JLP win. Because I'm pretty confident Andrew didn't win back his seat. I'm pretty confident him lose that seat there and glitch out and do all manner of fuckery, and then it came back and it miraculously was ahead by 2,300 votes, which never made no sense. Me just feel him lose the seat, because of course if he lost the seat, there are legal ways that he could still be prime minister. They could do a by-election in another constituency, and if he win that constituency, so he could do a by-election, or there's another way. There are two ways that he could still be the prime minister. I don't remember the other one, right? I don't believe he won the seat, farm boss. I think them thief the election. Well, not the election, but that seat, the prime minister did not win his seat. I do not believe the prime minister win his seat. Rose, why, listen. Me don't figure count them ballot them myself. Me don't believe Andrew with that shit. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it was just if you notice it was only his. I think there were three three constituencies that was just stuck, and the PNP was leading, and it was stuck for 2 hours, just not, the count was not moving, but somehow at the EOJ their thing was moving, and I'm like, but they're supposed to be communicating with the EOJ. So as the EOJ is updating its numbers, the station should be getting the updates, because they literally had people there. So how were they not getting the numbers? That's because the EOJ board are update, Every time they cut to the EOJ, the board are update with who is leading from whatever, who is leading and who much vote count and blah, blah, blah. But for some reason, the stations weren't getting that information. It just never made no sense. If you go come upon somebody live contact, identify yourself. Anyways, yeah, there's always somebody. It's so weird. Oh, you always have somebody on the int that like you go live and it's like, okay, if me done like, why you here? Like if I'm on TikTok and I'm scrolling and I see somebody live and me stop on the live and me realize it's much at some bullshit, I'm just gonna move on. Like the fuck, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm just gonna move on. That's how it works. But what I'm saying is, I think sometimes there are certain things that we blame the Prime Minister for, and there are certain things that we blame the members of Parliament for that is outside of their responsibility, and not for them responsibility to do that. Right? No, as I was saying to who was it? As I was saying to somebody asked me why I didn't want the JLP to win. As I was saying to John Lee, I didn't want the JLP to win because one, it's 3 terms. And if we still are complaining about old stuff, then clearly they have not fought because you had enough time. There was more than enough time for you to, because you can't do anything in 1 term. Like, let's be for real. You can't do anything in a 1 term. There are some little things that you can get done, but it really takes 2 terms for you to get your manifesto out. Right? They had the 2 terms. So it's kind of like we should be talking about what more can we do, not still complaining about the same old stuff. Right? Because so that's one. It's 3 terms, and if we don't feel satisfied with your performance in terms of you fulfilling your mandate out of that 3 term, and people forgot COVID, the way Andrew behaved like a proper dictator during COVID, I will never forget that. And I will never forgive him for it. Because you have to understand, if me and you, is this a woman? Farm boss. It looks like a woman. If me and you married farm boss, how are you going to know if I'm a good person or not? It's not when times are going great, you know. It's not when times are going great. It's when you are down and out. Am I going to stand by you? That's when you see the true color. When you are at my mercy, that's when my true color is going to come up. Because I can't do anything I want to do with you now. Because me know say I got you. You understand? When Andrew had the big stick, Andrew decides say Constitution be damned. Override the Constitution. Passed a law that was called the Disaster Risk Management Act, which was illegal. At the time I was on YouTube deleted my account, so you won't find those videos. I was on YouTube and they were like, oh, misinformation, blah blah blah. Okay, you know how it is now. 5 years later, this stuff with them when I say misinformation, they're like, oh well, it's actually true. So I was on YouTube talking and I'm like, the law is illegal. Because how you can know if a law is illegal? People don't understand. There's one law in the land, and that's the Constitution. Everything else that is passed with respect to citizens' rights, we're not talking about like the labor laws and stuff. That have nothing to do with your constitutional rights. Any law that impacts your constitutional rights, the Constitution overrides it. So when Andrew said, oh, no movement there and you can't live your yard, it's freedom of movement. In the Constitution, you're guaranteed freedom of movement. You're guaranteed freedom. They can't tell you that. They can suggest to you. They can suggest. Boy, you know, COVID out there and it's dangerous. We are begging to not go out there. But if I feel like go about my business, you're not supposed to stop me. I am supposed to exercise my right as I see fit. And when I said it, and I'm like, where are the legal people? Me I look for Ian Jackson Miller and the rest of them if come out and I say, no, the Prime Minister can't do this. And this is the problem I have in Jamaica. When it's like the whole of them in a one club, and we the little frefre, which is why I don't, this person will come and say my user whatever, right, is a proper, so okay, madam, I should tell you, you know. Because at the end of the day, all of these people, who, because some of them fit to say them in the society, but it's like, you know, really in it, them just whatever. When the foolishness are keep, they don't say anything. You're expecting, because when Andrew passed the law, I read it. I read the disaster. I think it was like 34 pages. I'm like, this is illegal. We can't do this shit. And guess how I was proven right? People took the government to court, sued the government, because remember they were locking up people who them find per road because curfew or whatever, and them carry them go to court, and the government lost, paying out $4 million per case where they lose. Google it, the government lost. So that's how you know, because they breached the people's constitutional rights. People don't understand. If you declare a state of emergency, this is why people don't understand either. And all of these states of emergency, they were all illegal. Even in the United States of America. Illegal. When you read I think it's chapter 3 of the Constitution, and it talks about states of emergency. So there's when the government can limit, right? 3 months is the maximum. 3 months. After 3 months, I hit that. So if the government declares a state of emergency, so during a state of emergency, they can, there's a limited window of time where they can say, well, because we have a hurricane, you can't go out, right? So it allows for a temporary limit on certain constitutional rights. Temporary. What Andrew kept doing, every 3 months he kept going back and declare. If you notice, that's what exactly. Every 3 months he kept going back and declaring a state of emergency again, because they're thinking that's, the Constitution said 3 months, so every 3 months now then go back and renew the state of emergency. That's what they were doing, or renewing the disaster, basically extending the emergency. You can't do that shit. Because I went and I read the thing, and I'm like, so where are these Lloyd B. Smith, him no constitutional genius? Where them defi come say you can't do that? Where is the Jamaica Bar Association to come out and say because obviously we as the normal citizens, we wouldn't know. If Andrew come and take away the rights, we not gonna know whether they take away the rights or not. Government pass law, say you have to this, that, way. You don't know whether they can do it or they can't do it. You have to go to be a police who come and pull you. So it is the legal people that may claim that they go to school and study for this shit. Now them come out and say, no, you can't do that. But you don't hear hear anything from them. And people don't have to take, it was the same thing that was happening with the zones of special operations. It was the same thing that was happening with the zones of special operations. And I read the thing because, the Gazette, these things, and you have to read what them writing at the Gazette. Yes, it's 34 pages, but you're not going to know if you don't read it. And I read the thing, and I go back to the Constitution, and them can only call it once. Andrew kept extending the Zozos. And that's why, if you realize that what they were doing to get around the Constitution is they keep calling it in different areas. That's what we're doing to get around the Constitution. And people take them to court. And when you heard about they're not supposed to be arresting anybody. The police. So if, let's say I live in one of those zones, and me I go about my business and police decides if it stop me, right? If they find me guilty of anything, they're supposed to call the people in the brown uniform. Right, so the police not supposed to arrest you, haul and pull your gun, and they're supposed to call the people in the brown uniform, and the people in the brown uniform will determine if there is sufficient whatever to detain you. So to detain you, is not the police supposed to arrest you? Because remember, say you there in your abode, you they go about your business, and this is and so these are the things that happen, and a lot of citizens sued and won because their rights were being infringed on. And the problem is it shouldn't get, because how many of we have money now if we go apply liar? Because it's not like in the United States of America where liar they come hunt you down and say, boy, nobody do you nothing, you can't sue them, we get some money. In a Jamaica you have to have your money up front to pay a liar. So when we don't get money from if we go apply liar to case, we can't nobody go government go court. Figure say boy they infringe. You don't have no money if you go to government girl court, so I go just roll with the punches. That's what they do, so they keep shifting around to try and get around the constitution. But then the police don't understand their role during that zone of special operation thingy. The soldiers really not supposed to in a no argument with nobody neither. What people don't understand, when you see them roll out the soldier's role is to protect the police. The soldier not supposed to in a no argument with nobody, no citizen. Because soldiers are not supposed to be operational in Jamaica. They're not. Unless the government declares martial law. They're not supposed to be operational in Jamaica. So when they have these whatever, and the soldiers are there to protect the police. The soldiers are not there to engage with citizens. Because they're not supposed to be operating in Jamaica. Soldiers, they are literally fight war with other people. Enemy come fight Jamaica's enemies. You can't fight Jamaicans, we're not Jamaica's enemy. No matter fucking sense. The soldiers are there to protect the police. It's similar to if you have a bailiff situation and bailiff come with police. The police not supposed to have no argument with you. The police is there to protect the peace. This is what people don't understand. If let's say you're just sitting in front of courts and you decide to say me not pay this shit, right? And courts turn over your sitting to collection agency or whatever, and bailiff will call you. Right? And then bailiff decides to come to your yard, come take back things, and then come with police. The police is not supposed to be in any argument with you. Police is not supposed to talk to you. The police is there to protect the peace. The police is there to make sure that you and the bailiff not get to fisticuffs. And people don't understand either. The bailiff cannot enter your premises unless you invite them in. They can't. There's a caveat, like let's say your door open and them come in, or for whatever reason them come in, right? Anything with them tagging at your house, once it tag, dog name supper, because you have to let them in now if you take what tag. That's how it works. And they can't take essentials, like them can't come take your bed if I one bed you have in the house, they can't do that shit. People don't understand that. So we have to educate ourselves because they use our ignorance against us. Soldier step to me already, Kicking on your face where me say you're threatening a civilian. Do you know you can be court-martialed for that? Right away in back down. Right away. In back down. So you can't walk around and not know your rights. If I even an idea, when the police stops you, if you have an idea of rights, yes, some of them, yeah, they're not supposed to be soldiers, especially if they're in a uniform. They're not supposed to. Of course, if you step to them, of course, they have a right to defend themselves. But the soldiers are not supposed to have no argument because they're not supposed to be operating on Jamaican soil. They are there to repel invaders. That is what the soldiers are there for, to repel invaders and protect the crown, which is the Governor General. So if you go for attack the Governor General, then can mash you down. But outside of that, on the streets of Jamaica, soldiers are not supposed to have an argument with nobody. And they're supposed to be, if they're, let's say they're moving around, they're supposed to be accompanied by the police. And they're there to protect the police. They're not supposed to be accompanied by the police. They're supposed to be accompanying the police. Like a bodyguard for the police. They're not supposed to. So if you attack the police, of course they can step in to protect the police. But outside of that, unless you're initiating, they're not supposed to be doing shit. They're not supposed to say nothing to you. Nothing. They're not supposed to. You no matter which law them pass, we have them out there. You no matter which law Andrew, and that is why Andrew ain't have Marlin Mala Ufo. That's why John Lee, Mr. Minever Andrew, because Andrew is a bumble wall. Andrew pissed on the Jamaican constitution enough time. Because most of the stuff we do was not constitutional. And then another thing that pissed me off was this fake republic where they might try to come up with, but we want Jamaica to be a republic. What were they trying to do? All they were trying to do is remove the king as the head of state and replace the Governor General with the king. That's it. And say, oh, you have a republic. That's not what a republic is. A republic is a whole constitutional reform. If you look on the Constitution of the United States of America and look on the Constitution of Jamaica, now two different constitutions. So, oh, you go just change, amend the Constitution to, because that's what Andrew is proposing now. The republic where Andrew they propose is literally to have a constitutional amendment to remove the king as the head of state of Jamaica. That's it. The constitution that we have would remain the same. With just that one change, the king is no longer the head of state, we have a president. And the president would be selected by the prime minister, because remember the prime minister select the governor general anyway, and the governor general would become the president and just literally did it. Nobody now vote for you, you are selected by the same old corrupt people in a parliament, and you did it like a figurehead just like the king was. That's what Andrew is proposing. And I walk around claim to them have town hall him and wicked witch Marlene Mala Fort and take everybody. I mean, I don't know if everybody else is idiot, but me know none. Me know me no idiot. What they're proposing is not a republic. It is the same bullshit constitutional monarchy where we have. It's just that they might replace the monarchy with a president, a puppet. That's it. So I have a lot of reasons why I didn't want the JLP to win, because, and it's not because I'm PNP, because I've never really voted for PNP, but we just need to get rid of Andrew, because I think if he lost the election, they would select a different leader for the JLP. Just like, oh, me never want PNP win in 2020. In 2020, because of Dr. Peter Phillips, because God alone can come from heaven and tell me say Peter Phillips not sell way out to the United States government. Peter Phillips. God alone can come tell me say that man. So me never want him win, because he knows when you have cancer and he went just want to win to get the Prime Minister pension so he can resign. Me dry him up, me dry him up. Me say that man go want to win, and within the first year or the second year of him term, he going to resign and turn you over to somebody else. Same thing, me never want him win. So me went upon JLP side. So me know I am not JLP or PMP. Any one of them in there they go on with for me one if he come out. Me no depend on them side. Andrew they go on with foolishness, but me never want him win. Because Andrew sell we out. Andrew sell we out to foreign powers and collect a bond. That's why he can't explain his wealth. That's why I can't explain it, because anybody where you see Elon Musk and the rest of them are back Bill Gates. I can't good people and Bill Gates them are not good somebody. So anybody you see then they cozy you up to you. If you need a black friend, my God man. You know take rocket science to figure out say you're wicked. If you and the devil are parent P. You don't need nobody if you content. Me don't need nobody if you content me say you're wicked. You're wicked. From me see any devil a combolo. Me know say you're wicked. Me not fear Jesus and his 12 disciples. You is a wicked. Look, if you look on the amount of puff piece where Andrew get. You can Google Andrew right now. Andrew they in a Fabs. Andrew they all over in the international press. Andrew they macall. Feel why? Andrew all when the pan saying when I will stand blow over there. Beryl. Andrew when the pan CNN, you know, I say then how the hell Andrew reach pan CNN? That's about Beryl. Big man thing looking up Andrew when the pan CNN. Trust me, he was selected. Remember they sent Tufton God WHO to go sign the WHO pandemic treaty where I go sign over Jamaica sovereignty to the WHO. So when WHO declare pandemic, WHO can tell we what to do, and we have to do it because Tufton when go sign that shit. And we have to make video. Yes, we have to make video. We have to make video. I think this was in 2023. We have to make video wicked, a bunch of us, DJ Kentucky and a bunch of we make video and pass it around. Tanya, everybody, we have to pass on the video and make people say, yo, them up there, I try sign over Jamaica rights to WHO. And as so comes, they no sign it. Tufton come in when they must Switzerland. In a must 2022, one sign with Jamaica rights to them when they call pandemic now, they can come down and can tell you what to do. So me have up Andrew. That's why me never want him win, and me not thinking winning seat. Me have him up. Because you sell Ojo as bad as we be. Me know say we hate we one another here. Because Jamaicans don't love Jamaicans, you know. We hate we one another. Because Jamaica, we kill a Jamaican right now faster than if another man come from outside come this them. I tell you, Jamaica, we don't like we one another. But me nah go sell out me country like sell we out. Wicked. Then collect their money and then get them whatever, and then tell like, oh, I had 2 taxes and I have this and I have lie. Are you Judas your 30 piece of pussy clad silver you get? You sell out the country. 30 piece of silver. Some good came out of it because Jamaicans now have a lot of free access to other parts of the world that we can just go. Right, so I guess that is a good thing that come out of it. I'm sure it's not because the JLP government was just so wonderful that we can just go a 93 country with no. I'm pretty sure it was a tit for tat. Andrew sell we out. In sell we out. And in get enough money too. But you see, people are not paying attention to what is happening. Nobody is paying attention. Me a JLP, so my eyes are blind to the wickedness where these people are that these people are doing. Them past needs, Remember, we are say, needs a mark of the beast, and them say you have one number from your band till you did and a whole bunch of fuckery. And Jamaicans were like, hell no, this a sound like a way the Bible when I talk about mark of the beast, and we go along bad and kick up from post and say not a ras needs in here. And guess what? In a 2021, Andrew Kai got caught and NIDS was passed. And a lot of Jamaicans don't know that. NIDS was passed. So them just a wait. So you soon yesterday ID them what we have can use again. That is people not understand. Why do you think they were remember say we ID expire from 2015, No. 2017. Remember, the old ID them expired December 2017 and they were dragging it out. Every minute they extend because of needs they want give it. But because we wanna kick up rumpus and a galang bad and I say we don't want no ras needs in ya. Then come up with the little fuck ID them where you see. Because if you look on the ID, if you're a millennial and you have your parents are like over 70 and they probably when me a boss about 6-year-old, I want ID like that my mother did have. The ID them what we have now, I think like that my mother did have. Way back in 1990, I saw our ID did look. And the needs ID then did one give it. So then remember so they extended to 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021 and I think at December 2021 it finally expired because they when I put them in and needs they when one give it and needs Andrew did one give it and it needs pick Jamaicans name they go for the needs. That is why you see they keep extending the ID because they wanted to pass needs and give us the needs. But it never worked. And guess what? And when the ID expire, see the 20, remember so we depend the agenda 2030 2031 the ID expire. So come 2021 is the needs we're going to get. And then go and probably introduce it before we're going to get it probably by 2028. Then I go say, new ID, blah, 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 come up with some fuckery. Oh, it's easier for you to do this, and they're going to tell you, they're going to hire a master strategist in communication. Because how it was being, they when I use Flight Green, because people were like Flight Green, and then they run with Flight Green, then go for the Englishman called Samu, when name Matthew Samuda, whatever the fucking one, because we know all of my people in the parliament white. Right? Go for Matthew Samuda and he never work. Right? They tried the communication, it just was not reaching us, in a reach to us. So this time around, what they're going to do is they're going to hire a master communicator, and they're going to run a psychological operation plan in Jamaica to get to if they accept the needs. Maybe the government is going to give away some free money, some free something, and use the needs as a clutch. If you say it's easier if you have needs, you know, have to do this, you know. So they're going to have a bunch of rigmarole where you have to go through to get the thing. But if you have needs, you just show your needs and you get it. Country boys, they're going to give a KFC. Yes, they're going to give the needs. They are by 20. Mark, what me tell you, because I say I'm gonna I know it's a lot of hours to go, but I'm going to find the clip where I say Andrew have to lead us into 2030, and him then choose. So come hell or high water, he may have to win. Come hell or high water, Andrew had to win. Andrew had to win. When they choose, it's what people don't understand. And even if Andrew didn't win, Mark would have to do what they wanted. It's just that now we would have to be debriefed. And they would have to probably change them strategy. And it'll probably take them a little bit longer because it's a new, you understand it? Because now you have to balance. They would have to do it. There's a little bit more subtlety that would have to go into if the PNP won than if because the JLP people them already in on it. You realize that all of them now all of a sudden now neck like them giant lodge. You realize that all of them all of a sudden now neck like them giant lodge, because these people, the people don't understand, you know. People will do anything for money. People will do anything for money. And you look, all of these people get rich, and it's like, how them get rich? Like you joined parliament 5 years ago and all of a sudden you just rich, so where you get your money from? Because I mean, it's just what they don't get the raise to $11 million, no $4 million a year, no, and I get $4 million a year, can't do nothing. Then sell we out. The JLP people and then sell we out. And the PMP they in on it too. The PMP's job was to stand back, pretend to put up a fight, but Andrew is up. They know that's why them get that's why the increase. They got the increase was a payoff. The PMP is in on it. Andrew had to bring us into 2030. So we'll see what he does. But I can tell you what is going to happen. What is going to happen is they're going to be doing a two-prong. You know, when you want to win a war, you attack the enemy at the front, and then you send your best fighters to flank them. You have to read The Art of War. Strategy. Andrew is a master strategist. If you're a prime minister or any kind of leader, you have to play chess. And you read this book. It's a two-pronged attack. Andrew are going to do Panwi. So what is he going to do? He has the resources of the global elite at his disposal. The World Bank. Because remember, our Nigel gone. Where is Nigel Clark? IMF. You feel Nigel Clark is a black man. You feel to say these white motherfuckers, white rich people are racist. They hate us. There is no... They hate we. They don't like black people. White rich people hate us. You feel to say Nigel is so brilliant more than anybody else? Why them bring him into IMF to be a deputy rector at the IMF? in can't bright enough for them not put one of them white friend in the position. Jamaica is seen as the change agent in the Caribbean. Because remember, the only Caribbean country where the world knows is Jamaica. The only Caribbean country that the world knows is Jamaica. So if they may go change the Caribbean, as much as me and Matley they go along with Barbados, nobody no business with Barbados. Jamaica has to be it. Because you know how we see already, because we are bully, and anybody come and attack some folk, we make them know say, yo, me with thumping in your face, brawling, and no business. The other Caribbean country, them can come step to we. Right? And they follow us. And Africa too, as much as people might think Jamaica is all the way out here where we can see on the map, Africa looks to Jamaica. If you can get Jamaica to move in the direction that the globalists want, you get the rest of black people them. That's why them have Nigel at the IMF, so them going to read him in on the fuckery. And Andrew is going to get the backing and the funding. So what we may see happening, remember I tell you, it's going to be a two-pronged war. You're going? So on the flank is going to be where you're probably getting the, oh, if you have an NHT house, you're paying your mortgage now, and it's basically after you pay a certain amount of money for your house. Right? That's what they're going to do. So people go and get more access, so you're distracted. You get more access. Where am I get the money from to do this shit? Are we making more money all of a sudden? No, we're not. Right? You didn't grow the economy by 10%, so where the fuck I get the money from? They're not going to tell you where they might get the money from, but they're going to be getting it from the globalists, the Bill Gates and the George Soros and the IMF and the World Bank. Right? That's where it's going to be getting the money from. And say, oh, NHT now, blah, blah, blah. You can go get that. So everybody I get holes. Right? While you are distracted with that, they're passing these laws, signing these treaties, signing these agreements. But we are not going to know, because in the news, that is what they did in COVID, you know. While the government is doing some bullshit, they create a distraction. So you are focusing on, oh, there was a school shooter. That time in a Congress, there was a hearing where Anthony Fauci agrees that why the vaccine them went fuckery. But nobody knows about that, because while the hearing was going on, there was a school shooting. You see the chat? So the news is, every station where you turn, oh, there was the school shooting, this transgender idiot walking around school go shoot up some little pitney. And that's all over the news. But then the bigger news is, wait a minute, this was going on. You know, that's what they always do. So we're going to be distracted. So I wouldn't be surprised if them raise the minimum wage anywhere from next year to 2027. I don't think they're going to take it into... Then go and do a lot of stuff. And maybe Jamaica is going to get visa free to somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised. Visa free to some country where we probably not go. We didn't have visa free before, or whatever, right? They're probably going to start to push this republic fuckery. So they're going to go around now and dominate the news cycle with town hall meetings where we're trying to get consultation from the public about being a republic and some bullshit. While him go send Tufton and the rest of them go cross waters, we go sign deal. And really and truly, when they're leaving the country to do anything, we're supposed to know. When Tufton went in Switzerland, we go sign pandemic treaty, we didn't know about it, you know. And the bitch them posts up on Twitter, because me know about Twitter, and Jamaicans don't really follow up Twitter like that. With the man Tedros, the Director General for the WHO. And we got wind of it. Me have the video here upon me. But this was, I think, from 2023. So, you know, you have to go do some scrolling. Me have the video here. We had to make a video. Them call me and say, me want you to make, you know, do some. Marvin, the liquor fire, that brown guy where, you know, was going around and doing a lot of that. He did it too. You know, a bunch of us came together and we made we made a video and then compile it into one video. And we post it to make Jamaicans know that them in Switzerland are trying to sign we over to the WHO. And the Ministry of Health responded, oh, we're not signing anything and we're here for a conference and that is just one item. And like, sir, we know where you ended if we no fool. And it was passed. I don't know if it was passed last year, them signed it. But I don't know if Jamaica signed to it. The US people get wind of it too and raise up and Donald Trump, I think Donald Trump won at the time, so them could, and Donald Trump was like, to hell with the WHO. So because the US was supposed to sign onto it as well. I don't think the US did, because people in the US were raising a lot of alarm about this pandemic treaty. So we have to keep our eyes peeled. So that's, this is a long way of answering the question about why I didn't want the JLP to win. Because the JLP sell we out. Them sell we out. We were sold out, and that is why, because Andrew is guilty of what the integrity, but they're going to drag it out and drag it out and drag it out, and by the time they grow curve and come round can and we forget about it. This is what people need to. He's guilty. He cannot explain his wealth because he was unjustly enriched. He can't explain his wealth, You think, listen, Wagwan Michelle, he's guilty. He can't explain his wealth. If you do accounting, it's simple, 1, 2, to trace a transaction, if the transaction is legitimate. It's simple. If you have a business, you have all these businesses and money are sending in your account from ATM, how that go? What was the money for? People don't just deposit money in your account, so. Because normally, okay, so I work at the hotel, used to. And when Jamaicans book, because you know how Jamaica stay already, right? I know everybody up upon the technology. So they will go to the bank and they'll deposit. So let's say they make a reservation and we're like, well, you have to guarantee one night, otherwise we're not going to put the reservation on the system. So they'll go to the bank and they'll deposit one night deposit into our account. So we'll give them the account number and they'll go to the account and pay the money. But we know they will now have to bring the receipt to the hotel to give us, because the money we're in our account and we're not going to know where the money for, right? So they will now have to bring the receipt to the hotel. We collect the receipt at the front desk, send it to accounts, and accounts will now go in at our account now figure find that transaction so that they can match back the transaction to the receipt and then account for it to say, okay, this was for accommodation. That's how it works. You cannot do business and you collect millions of dollars and nobody can tell where the money come from. That don't make no friggin' sense. So it should be easy for him to explain where these. So when the Integrity Commission say, okay, you have all this money we see coming in, but where is the money coming from? What was it for? It should be easy for you to explain. Worse if it is millions of dollars. You can't have millions of dollars in your account. If you have an account and $1 million drop in there, you must know where the $1 million come from. You must have, okay, I did this piece of, and you have a receipt to show for it or whatever the case might be. How much years later you have Integrity Commission a quote and you can't explain? Oh, I gave the explanation. You're not stupid. If you gave them the information, you think they would have waste time and go through court with you? Do you know how time consuming that is to go to court? It is time consuming because you have to prep. And you have to go and you have to argue. And then you have to go sit down on the stand and you have to answer these questions. And sometimes they kind of get fresh with the question. Nobody want to go through that shit. Why would they go? Like, ain't nobody want to go through that. They have to go to court. Meaning, and you don't just go to, of course you have to prepare. And you have to have these sessions where the lawyer prepare you for what they're going to ask and how you have to answer and what the rules of the courts are. That's a whole heap of time. Nobody got no time for that shit. If you gave them the information that they wanted, sir, they would have said you're certified and the argument done. You would have certified any argument done, but you can't explain where your money come from because you sell me out. Exactly, because I think, but then again, it's kind of weird because he's the one who set up the Integrity Commission. He's the one who helped to write that law. So I don't know how we never understand. Because before they were just declaring stuff, oh, these are my assets, but you never really have to tell where you get the money from, because that's the money I do before the Integrity Commission set up. And the peculiar thing is, nobody else approve except you. That don't make no sense. A 63 is somebody in a parliament and a you one out there? No, well, 6. 6 of them. You and your wife. And 4 other somebody. And the whole of them are JLP. And my thing is, and this is one of the issues that I have too. It's kind of like, remember, when you are in certain positions, right? You are, especially where you are elected. Remember, people vote for you and put you in there. Once foolishness start going on, your name kind of get dirty and people lose left. We should not be forcing the Prime Minister to do the right thing. If you have integrity, if I become the Prime Minister, of course, there will be people who are working to undermine you. You have to understand that. There are always going to be bad actors trying to, overthrow you and get you out of the position because they want to put in somebody corrupt. So there's a give and take where that is concerned, because you do know that there are bad actors who have their own nefarious agendas, and you will have a very good person there and they're trying to make like, oh, this is the worst person because the person is not doing what they want. They can't control them, they can't get them to, overlook the crime where they want to do. So they try to get rid of you. So we have to keep that in mind too. Right? But if I become the Prime Minister and I did something, I messed up, whether it was innocent or not, and people start picking up, I go just resign and left. I mean, I know no argument we do no. Well, no Prime Ministership and go to no business. Why are you still there? You're under investigation for God knows how long now, and you are the only one where nobody can certify. And so it speaks to your character. Listen, one thing, a man can say me a liar or me a thief. Can me not a liar, me not thief. And me we fight. Me thumping on your, I mean no business that, oh, I'm rude to you. Because then there's something me take serious. So if I'm in a position where I was elected and you depend some bullshit, I'm like, okay, you know what? I remember when I was the deputy head boy at my high school, and I heard from a good source. One of the faculty came to me and said, boy, I had to fight for you in the staff meeting because they didn't want to give you the deputy head boy. Of course, the whole school thought I would have been the head boy, because you know how we go already. It's like it's like you're at work and you have this hard work and there's a promotion. Everybody say, oh, it's gonna be this person because they're the most hardworking, and then it's some dimwit pan the team getting like, but this is somebody that never there work and they don't know them but from a broomstick. How the fuck them get the position? It was something like that. So everybody was like, how the hell you didn't get the head boy? I'm like, you know what? I don't give a shit, because I even showed up to school because I never got my package. Usually when you get prefect or whatever, in your package that they send you, they tell you. Because remember, you have to buy the uniform, because we wear white shirt. So they have to tell you, say, hey, you are prefect or whatever, so you can buy the white shirt as opposed to go build khaki shirt. I didn't get anything, so me come up in a khaki shirt. And the whole school was in a uproar. Say, oh, come here, no prefect. Me say, listen to me, nobody never tell me say me a prefect. So me now go come in a white shirt, because if nobody say nothing to me, go rude to them. Because me no trouble people, but me not join church. So they came to me and said, why are you not wearing your white shirt? That's the principal, Come. Why are you not, Mr. Sir? What are you talking about? My package came and it was a normal package. There was nothing in there that said I was a prefect or anything. So why would I come here in a white shirt? I am not that presumptuous. Oh, we forgot. Blah, blah, blah. Ray. So now me have to go buy a white shirt. Anyways, bought the white shirt. Them say, oh, you are the deputy head boy. I'm like, okay, fine. Who is the head boy? They gave it to this other guy. The guy never starts school until 9th grade. And typically you can't get head boy unless you start from 7th grade. But for some reason then give him. Bam brim, him no come. So he transferred from the school to another school. So, okay, fine. If I am the deputy and the head boy will not give, no come, why would you pick another student who was not even a prefect? Because the guy that they gave the head boy was not a prefect at all. He wasn't even a prefect. So they didn't even choose somebody from among the prefect body to give the head boy. So my teacher come and one of my little teacher friend come and say, boy, it was a hell in there because I didn't want to give it to you, blah blah. Cause you know, for me, my poor like if you're going at the dictionary and you look up the word poor a week, for me picture, you see there, we poor bad. So we know in no society, we are no nobody. So me can't, cause you know the head boy, and that is something that boosts your resume, right? So we are no society people. Me a whole broke me away come to school because I borrow pupina because my mother can't afford nothing. So she beg who when they pitney grow out this engine, then they beg them the uniform fee. Give me so that we not going. So me can't be head boy. So me contact this. So me go that this I take it back. Come here so on the same way. Me have cost the principal. Me say me here say no in here. Me before me no want nobody fight cause and take it back. Cause me no frightened for prefect or head boy or deputy. Me no frightened for. Because at the end of the day, what in here so no can take it from me, so no take it back. Oh no. Me say take it back. Since it don't cause war and strife and problem, no take it back. And he, no, just give it a try, When the school have function, then come to me now, the head boy is there, you know. Them come to me now and beg me if you go do, like introduce the speaker or whatever. Because, you know, I was well spoken and whatever, doing well. I was in A stream, the guy was in B stream, which was kind of weird. But anyway, so me I say, but the head boy is here. Like, why would you do that? Because not how it works, the head boy would do most of the stuff, right? And if the head boy is not there, I would do, obviously I would step in because you're the deputy, so the head boy is not here, you would act in instead. And if I'm not there, the head girl would, you know. So I'm like, but you have the head boy and the head girl, why the hell are you coming to me? I'm like, it don't look good. I mean, I want this boy can have me up now, say me about bad lamb fee. I'm like, you, but you know that me say me no business. Say if me better at doing is one no game. Me say me can go up there go county ward them. But me not going up there because he's here and me in go have me up now. Say. And me, when me no have nothing to do with it, me said, you no go bring me now that they pass them, my friend. Because nobody na go come kill me half over here. So, you know, carry him up, they make him go embarrass, you know. Because if you are going to come to me now and say, I can do it better, why is he dead boy? So, no give you no safe right there, so. You never have no valid reason why you never give it to me. Because you have no confidence in the person you give. And when time, you know, Tapanaris people come now and me you know want to go up because you know say me can present myself better. I say no, me not do it. As long as in there him go do it. You know, me not go make you know set me up in a nobody heart and nobody mind. Me not do it. So I'm not poor anymore. Well, my mom was poor. Let me put it that way. My mom was poor. I'm not rich, but I'm not poor either. I'm kind of like, let's say from 1 to 10 is poor, and from 11 to 20 is like middle class, maybe at 10.5. You know what I mean? So me can't call myself poor and me can't call myself middle class. Cause me no really. You see? Me no really cross over in a the middle class section, but I'm not poor either. So it's kind of like, yeah. So yeah, I'm not poor, right? So I mean, we have to, I think, as Jamaicans, which is one of the biggest problems I have, we're so divisive. So if somebody comes and saying, boy, I don't like, even if if you have on the, me don't know one name rich, my friend, me don't know one name rich. if you have on the green shot, and you come and you say, boy, I am dissatisfied with a policy or something that the JLP is doing, I could say you're PMP, And a PMP saying you're PMP agent. I saw Jamaican stay. And if you have on the orange shirt and you say, boy, I agree with something where Mark do or whatever, a JLP, they must say you're JLP, And a JLP saying you're JLP, I saw Jamaican stay. And me I say, but then you will have no poor and broke. So like, what the argument for? Because you broke, me broke. Andrew have him million sit down pan and Mark have him million sit down pan. And it over there they cost over JLP and PMP. Why? We don't know money like that. A KFC money we have, A KFC money we have and for them money me not even know no expensive restaurant because me never name none. Me not even know which restaurant fickle we a top restaurant to you pay much. Me not even know none fickle right now. For sure you. So me know in them the bracket. I don't know no expensive restaurant name fickle for say boy this for them money reach. So why are we arguing amongst ourselves? We have to look at the fact that we are complaining from me born till now is the same issues we are complaining about. Think about it. No, the same problem now your parents, you grow up on here, your parents are complaining about road and water and this. No, the same problem we they complain about now. So how can we be here quarreling amongst ourselves between the JLP and PMP did they from Jamaica gain independence? They were both formed in the 1940s. From before Jamaica gained independence. Me no want to tell a lie. Make me look up. When was the JLP formed? 1943. Before Jamaica gained independence, the Jamaica Labour Party was formed. And PNP formed in 1949. Let me look. If me no want to tell no lie. JLP formed in 1943. PNP, the People's National Party, 1938 by Norman Washington Manley. So these parties are older than Jamaica in terms of independence. And we are complaining about the same issues. JLP and PMP, they are from Wapikil, Philo. So why we as Jamaicans are cussed we one another and say JLP better and this? None of them not better, the two of them are drunk, bro. None of the party them no better because they've both been here from God, from the devil was a boy. And we are still complaining about the same issues. Why? So we have to hold them accountable. It no matter who in a power. And we have to vote based on policy. We have to stop wear party colors. It is one of the hardest things to get Jamaicans to break out of. 1 p.m. and everybody, you're hungry for 4 years. And then leading up to the election, all of a sudden you are dieted something. It's like, I understand the mindset. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I am looking at my quality of life because this is how I judge if the country is, if the Prime Minister is good. I can tell you, I am worse off than I was before 2020. When I say worse off, I mean worse off. Worst off. Worse off. That is how I judge my quality. That is how me judge whether or not I look at the quality of my life. Am I better off or worse off? If I'm worse off, the government now do what I'm supposed to do. And this has to do with inflation. And inflation is not the 4% we Andrew talk about. The impact of inflation on me is 34%. Oh, I know that I keep a budget of everything. Every money when me spend, me have one spreadsheet when me fling it in. And me go out the road and me drive good on this and me pay 240. Me transportation, me add the 240. That's how me do it. Inflation has been 34% over the between 20. I did from 2022. So I didn't even go back as far as 2020. Between 2022 and 2025, the impact of inflation on my earning is 34%. Food went up by 32%. The cost of food. Because remember, you know, people don't understand. Typically, we not buy different stuff. You know, you pretty much buy the same things every month. There may be a one and two new, but typically you buy the same thing every month, especially if you have kids. You can tell. Okay, usually me go into the supermarket and me pick up my items them and it was $5,000. Now it's $18,000. People not stupid. You can tell. But they're telling you, oh, inflation is 4% where? Simple one too. What was the price of patty before 2020? What is the price of patty now? And do the markup. Do the inflation penny. What was the price of KFC in 2020 and what is the price of KFC? That's it. Is it 4%? Was patty increased by 4%? What was fear in 2020 and how much is fear now? Is it 20%? Is it 4%? No, it's not. How much you could have buy if you want box food? What the cheapest food you could have get? People could have get me know say you could have get $300 food. You could have get $500 food. And right now, you can't get one food for under $900. You can't get one food for under $900. Me not ask Jesus and 12 disciples. You can't get one food for under $900, my lord. And you could have get $300 food and the little box them. Them the box them. You don't see them the box again. Me not see them the box them no way. The little one box. You not see that no way again. Top sell. That's how if it's 300. And the long box are 500. I be a long box of sale now. And the cheapest you can get. And if you buy fried chicken with rice and peas, $900. Is that 4? So you move from $500 or $600, depending on where you buy, to $900 to $1,000. Is that 4% inflation? No, it's not. Because what you buy with your money, you have to look panino. That's how it works. When you say inflation, I have to look, what am I buying? And what is the price then versus now? That is how you know. Because the government tells us inflation is 5%, because this year inflation so far is averaging 5.2% according to them. Right? Last year it was 6.47. The year before I think it was 5.4 and I think 2022 was 10 point whatever. Right? And you're like, but nothing no raised by 4%. Because when people raise price, they no raise price by percent. Then this kind of big money pan here, so they do it. That's how they do it. There's something I used to buy, like when I eat out, I used to buy chicken and like for festival, $900. Quarter chicken for festival, $900. It's now $1,450. Is that 4%? And that's literally between 2023 and now. It moved from $900 to $1,450. There was another restaurant I used to buy. The food was I think $1,000 or $1,100. Now it's $1,500 and $1,600 for the same food when we used to buy. And they're telling you inflation is 5%. Where? What we are buying will increase by 5%? No way. There is no 5% for us. I don't know where the 5% comes from, but it's definitely not for we where buy stuff. No, we are buying no increase by 5%. It is way more than that. Nothing that we buy was increased by 5%. It's way more. Way more. You're looking at close to 100%. And remember, when you are working, them now raise your pay by more than 5% or 3% or 2%. That's what they're giving you. You work at one place for 10 years and every year then give you an extra $500 per pay period. And that then doing these, yo. Sometimes, and this is one of the issues, you know, and I don't understand when it comes to election time, the things that Jamaicans are supposed to be advocating. It just don't, like, I don't understand these fucking people. All they want is a $5,000 in their hand, and it's like, but you're working, and the workplace are underpay you, and your wages are not keeping up with inflation. These are the things that we're supposed to be advocating for. If the government changes the law, when Andrew tried to change the minimum wage to $32,000, no make no fucking sense. Because if people are working and you make sure that you have fair labor standards like the United States of America, because the little menial, you know, when they go after somebody where they hire one housekeeper if you go hire somebody for babysit them pitney for the week, or one little housekeeper if you come help wash two clothes and wash two plates. You don't want to stress out them the people. You want to stress out the people. You want to make sure that the hotels and the manufacturing companies like Lasco and Grace and because as much as people see these places and they're making millions, you think them pay the people them good? They're not. The regular staff, they're not. Them barely pay above some minimum wage of 16,000, we give you 17 or 20. And that's why you can't bitch and complain because we are paying more than minimum wage. That's how they do it. You did a hotel at work. Minimum wage of $16,000 a week. You did it as a bell person. 17 a year BSP. That's how they do it. So you can't say a minimum wage I pay you. That is how it works. Who is this? I don't. If you're not a follower, I don't do the TikTok foolishness. Whoever just send the thing. If you're going to contribute to the conversation, then I will accept the invite and you can say what you have to say. But if it's I know people go live with TikTok to play game, or I don't do that shit. So if that's why don't just come for my life, consent no invite. Because I don't see you commenting I've accepted invite because there were persons who were engaging in the chat and we were going back and forth and talking. So of course, if they send an invite, then I would accept the invite and we can have a conversation because I know they want to have a conversation. But if you just see the live and think that, oh, it's TikTok and we're going to try, me not make no money over here, so massa. Because from TikTok, brand the accounts in Jamaica, you're different. You know, in a known TikTok creator program, and you have 10,000 people that follow you. I mean, nobody they follow me like that. So I don't make no money over TikTok and me not join no live with nobody at chat for free. I talk what interests me. My interest is not making money. Of course, it would be good if you could make money because right now I'm fed up of working for people because all these employers do, and then you have the little old bumble hole them where them employ and say them a supervisor and manager going like I say, I feed them place and them not get no pay neither. And it's like, you don't need to start acting no pay because they're going like I say, I found no place and them are underpay uno too. And I'm sick and tired of it. Like I have become so, it's like I just don't want to work for nobody because no, they don't treat you, they don't pay you well. Right, so you go into the interview and then drag you through this long fucking process for pay you lily and nothing. And sometimes people say, oh, but yeah, the qualification don't mean anything. These people are not paying you. They'll put on the thing, oh, must have a bachelor's degree in whatever, whatever. And you're going with a bachelor's degree and they're not paying for it. How can you be paying somebody who got a college and the role is asking for a bachelor's degree and you're paying under $2 million? How does that make sense? You know how much $1 million if you want a degree? If you look at most of the jobs that are advertising, they want a degree or at least an associate. I don't know why people go to school go do associate, because that don't make no sense to me, but whatever. Either an associate degree or a degree. Or some form of professional qualification. Because people understand the professional qualifications are more, to me, if I was an employer, if you have something from, like, let's say it's accounting and you have something from ACCA, I would prefer that person with the ACCA designation over the person who have a degree in accounting. Because the professional certifications are specific to the actual job. If you have a certificate in bookkeeping, it's better than somebody who have an accounting degree, because an accounting degree person would know if it literally do bookkeeping. They have a general idea of accounting and you probably have to go training, but the bookkeeper knows what to do. I have the professional qualification in hospitality. I literally, doing the course, went to the hotel, did the check-in, did all of that. So when I got my certification and I went to the hotel, yes, the training, I didn't need the training because I already did that during the actual course of getting the certification. That's how those things work. So somebody with a professional certification is more qualified than somebody with a degree in that field, because the degree is more general, whereas the certification is specific to the actual task that you're supposed to be doing. So they're asking for certification, they're asking for degree, and when you go and you do the interview and you get through and blah blah blah, and then it's a fuck repeat the maggie. Like, you can't be asking for qualification for your job and 3 years of experience minimum. If the job asks for experience and it asks for degree, you're not supposed to pay under $3 million. And then they say you're salaried. This is what they do. So when you work overtime, they don't pay you for it. Because this is what they did to me at the last job. We're making under $2 million and we're salaried. So in the US, they pass law because that's what they used to do to get around. So they would just make the employees salaried so that they don't have to pay them, so they can force them to work overtime and they don't have to pay for the overtime. And the US passed the law to say if they're not making certain amount of money, you have to pay, even if they're salaried, you have to pay them for the overtime, and stipulated how the overtime is to be calculated, because that's what they were doing. Them tell you you're salaried and I pay you for free money, and then you have to work all these extra hours because salaried, as a salaried employee, you have to. And you don't get paid for overtime because you're salaried. Salaried people don't get paid for overtime. So you're working overtime and you don't get paid for, and you're not getting the pay of a salaried person. So that was their way of getting around. So them do all of these little hanky-panky stuff to cheat people out of what they have earned. And sometimes when I hear them come, like the MPs or whatever, come and I say, well, if you want to get more pay, we have to produce more. And it's like, what are you talking about? People are being underpaid. This has nothing to do with us producing more. We are being underpaid. You're not paying me for what I am producing. So why are you saying I must now produce more for you to pay me still less than what I am? It doesn't make any sense, because they are so far removed from the realities that we are facing that they don't understand what is really going on. When people are complaining about wages, because there's no assessment that is being done of what people are actually being paid. When I was at the last hotel that I worked at, when I submitted a request for a raise, and HR are here, right, was upset because I asked for a raise. Can you believe these people? And she took the matter to the general manager. Look how much, because what I was asking for was 100% increase. So she was furious. How dare you? and she took it to the general manager. Luckily, the general manager and I had a good relationship, because what would happen is that whenever he had anything technical that he needed to get taken care of, he couldn't rely on the managers to do it for him. So he would come down early in the morning and just say, explain the situation to me. I said, see what you can do. And half the time I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But I'm like, okay, no problem, sir. Right? And he'll send me the information and I'll call. I had some, a few friends in management that will call and say, hey, I got this, where can I get this information? Where can I get this information? Where can I, and they'll tell me where to get the information. And then I'd go online and do some research on how, and I'd figure it out and I'd give it back to him and like, this is exactly what I wanted. Thank you. So he had, we had that kind of relationship, but they didn't know. She did, the HR would know that, right? So when she took it to him now, he said, look what he's asking for. How dare he? Blah, blah, blah. And he saw how much I was getting. The GM was like, wait a minute. This is what he was being paid all this time? No. You have to, no, we have to give him the raise. And they agreed. But it was structured. So I wasn't going to get the full 100% upfront. So I got a 45% increase first, and then they were supposed to give me another, I think, 25% the next year, and then the remainder the next year. So it was supposed to be over a 3-year period. And I'm like, I didn't fight it because I'm like, I didn't want to rock the boat. So I said, okay, fine, no problem. Then COVID came, and that obviously went to shit. But yeah, so just to, because remember, if the role was not valued at that, what would have happened? They would not have paid it to me. They would have said, this is really what we have budgeted for the role. They're not going to pay you more than what the role is valued. 100% increase I requested, and it was approved, albeit over a 3-year period, but it was approved. What did that say to you? I was being underpaid by that amount. There is no way they were going to approve a 100% increase if that took them way over what the role was valued at. So when they're talking about, oh, you guys have to, we can't just want more money and production stays the same because it's the production that determines how much. It's like we're already being the production the output that we're currently performing at. We're not being compensated for it. So what are you talking about? When we say we want more pay, it does not mean that we are being compensated within the range that the role is valued at, and we're asking, that's not what is happening. We're being compensated well below what the role is valued at. And we're saying, bring us up to where the role, what we're supposed to be getting paid. That's all we're asking. But because you're so out of touch and disconnected with what is really happening on the ground, do you think that, oh, you want more pay, but you can't get, understand how economics work, because if you want more pay, it means that you have to produce more. That's not what is happening, my good sir. We're being underpaid. That's the issue. And we're saying we want to be fairly compensated. It does not mean an increase in, because they keep asking you about what can we do to increase, what can we do. You're hard working, you've been overworked and underpaid, and they must send one survey and ask, what can we do to ensure that employees improve their, like, what the fuck are you talking about? What more can we're already overworked. What more do you want us to do? Make it like, I just don't understand how these people think. You are already overworked. Because in many instances, they're short. Last job that I left, when I went there and I started working, there was this long stretch of time, over a year, that they were understaffed. I was stressed out because it was so much work. And there was so many things to do because they needed 3 persons on the team. And it was just me. And then because what happened is it takes 3 months to train somebody to do the job. 3 months, 3 full months. And even after the 3 months, it's going to take them about 7 months to actually get it. This one, even after the 3 months of training, and you come out of training, you can't hit the ground running. This is payroll. It takes 3 months for them to train you. And even after the 3 months, it's going to take at least 7 months for you to kind of get in the groove where you can take a lot of the load off the senior person who is there. So a year, it was just me. Because somebody in training can't do anything in payroll. They can't do anything. Because they're in training. And when they come out of training, they, like, if someone has a W2 correction that needs to, I have to do it. Because they would know how to do it. If I need to adjust somebody's taxes, do a balance adjustment, I have to do it. They can't, because they would know what to do. Subpoena requests, employment verifications. So there was so many. And I was like just stressed out, and I would get up 4 o'clock in the morning and log in and just to get some of the work out. And at the end of the day, it didn't matter. What more can you do? What can we do to improve productivity? What the fuck are you talking about? And all of that work, there were days when I would sit at my desk from 6:30 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the evening. And not once did I get up from that desk, not even for lunch, because it was so much work. And in the end, didn't matter. Didn't matter. And they were underpaying me. And I'm like, I'm being underpaid. I need a raise. No response. So I left. I'm not going to allow you to disrespect me like that. Because if you do not value me as an employee who is going above and beyond to get the work done in a timely manner and to a high standard, I am not going to tell you to respect me. I'm not going to do that. Because I can't make you. And this is what a lot of people, this is the mistake a lot of people make. They feel that, and it happens in it doesn't matter what relationship. If it's your mother, if it's your family, if it is your friend, if it's your significant other, and they don't respect, walk the fuck away. Because you can't make them respect you. And asking for respect is just going to bring disrespect. Trust me. Because it's a human thing. The moment someone tells you to do something, it's kind of like you have this natural resistance to doing the thing that them, because you're like, you ain't the boss of me. Like, fuck you talking about. You know what I mean? So I left. I didn't say, hey, I deserve. Nope, I'm not arguing with you. I tendered my resignation and I left. Because people often feel that they can force somebody to do. You can't force somebody to do what they don't want to do. And if you're working someplace and you feel undervalued, underappreciated, leave. There is no other option. If you go to HR and you make a complaint, they're going to fire you. They're going to find a way to get, I guarantee they're not going to care, because people think that people are just good and people have, 99% of people are evil. It's that simple. Most people are assholes. They don't care about anybody but themselves. 99% of people, and that's a hill I will die on. And all of us can relate to it in the workplace. And some of us even do that to other people in the workplace. They don't care. You go and you complain to them, unless you are friends like that, they don't care either. They don't care. They're just going to see you as a problem because now you're bitching and complaining. Because the thing is, you're supposed to be grateful for the job. How dare you complain? There are people out there who don't have any jobs and you come here bitching and complaining about job, saying you don't feel valued and appreciated and you're underpaid. How dare you? So if you feel like that, right, you tender your resignation and you walk away. And what you do know is the next job, because this is what people need to do. You need to take an assessment of your finances. How much does it cost me to live? Whatever your lifestyle is, whatever it is that you're used to doing, your life is comfortable spending this much per month or whatever. How much does it cost you to live your life per month in the way that you are living it or you want to live it? And that is what you demand for your next job. Nothing less. Because guess what? If you don't do that, then you're going to find yourself in a position where you're struggling to keep up. Or you have to lower your standard of living because your salary is just not able to keep up with that specific. Like, this is what people don't understand. So you have to calculate how much does it cost me to live like this. Okay, it's X amount per year. You put 10% on that because they're gonna, if you ask for a specific figure, they're gonna be like, try to negotiate. It always happens. So you can you mark it up by 10% and then you to start it as the base and you give a range. So let's just say it's gonna be $3 million per year. You say, okay, when you go, you're like, okay, what is your salary expectation? Between $3 million and $3.5 million. Because you're not going below 3 million. And that $3 million would have been 10% more than what it actually cost you to live your life. Because that's like a cushion for any incidental stuff that pops up that you did not aware of. Plus, it kind of covers inflation for a few years. Because, if they give you the raise, it's not going to cover the cost of inflation. It's going to be 2% or 1.5%, and inflation is generally anywhere from 4 to 10%. So your raise is definitely not going to cover inflation. So you ask for a salary that, at least for the next 2 to 3 years, with the little raise that they're going to give you, it will cover inflation. And then in year 4, you can look for another job or ask for a raise. So you have to be smart. So it's that way you're not playing catch up with your salary, where you have to lower your standard of living, because these people are not going to pay you fairly. They're not. And once you're in the organization, you're cooked. Because unless you get a promotion to a higher role, and even when you get the promotion, they don't pay you. This is one of the things that I hate too. When you get the promotion from within the organization, they don't pay you the salary for that role. They give you a raise. What the fuck is wrong with these people? That's what they do. So if you were a regular staff, right, and they promote you to a supervisor, they are not paying you what the supervisor is supposed to be paid. They give you a raise. So they will have an internal policy to say, oh, well, you can't get a raise of more than 20%. Capped. So they will give you a 20% raise from the line staff salary. So when you move to supervisor, you get a 20% raise. What does that mean? It simply means that if you were being lowballed from the line staff position, or you were on the lower end of the pay scale of that line staff position, what you're now being paid may not even be within the pay scale of the supervisor role. You're just now perhaps in the median or high end of the line staff pay scale. This is what companies do. And a lot of times people don't, because they make it so taboo to discuss salary and to negotiate. It is not the call, it's like you can't talk about, there's this fanfare around, you got a promotion, da, 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 da. And I'm like, because I've been offered promotions before, but without the salary, and I'm like, no, thank you. So, and of course, that was a strike against me, because you don't want to be a manager? How dare you turn that down? I don't want to put no fucking manager on my resume if I'm not getting the pay. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. Because to me, I see it as disrespectful. How dare you want to promote me, but I'm going to be still paid as no. I see it as an insult, but they want to sell it as oh, this is, oh my God, we have this confidence in you, and we're so happy and we're pleased to. And I'm like, okay, but where, like, how much? Like, I'm only interested in the money because I am not a fan of work. I am not going to be sitting here telling nobody, oh, I love to work, and I'm not that guy. So if you're giving me a promotion, the only thing I'm interested, because this is more work, more stress. So I need to know if I am being compensated for the additional stress. Because if the money is not worth it, I'm good where I am. I'm not frightened for titles, and I was never that person who. And I guess it's because I don't have I don't have this inferiority complex. Because a lot of people feel like they have to prove something, or they feel, I don't know. I just don't go through the world thinking that I need to prove anything to anybody. I need to prove that I'm successful. I need to prove that I'm intelligent. I need to prove that I'm well accomplished. I need to prove this. I need to prove. I don't need to prove shit to nobody because I don't give a fuck. The only thing I care about is that I am okay. My life, the way I'm living my life on my terms. I'm living my life how I want to live. My bills are paid. The light is on. The internet is on. Food is in the fridge. I'm good. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. I don't care about the titles and the accolades, and I don't give a shit about any of those. So if you're gonna come with a fancy title and say, "Oh, we're gonna make you the director of so and so," that is all well and good, but what happened to the money? If you're just giving me a title and a bunch of work and I'm supposed to be happy because I have a title, wrong person. I don't care about titles. I don't. I want to be because you respect me by compensating me for the work that I am doing. If you are not compensating me for the work that I'm doing, I see that as a disrespect. You don't respect me. When you go to somebody important, what do? You apologize for taking up their time, or you beg them for a moment of their time. It is a sign of respect. I respect your time. That's what we do. You show them your respect. How you promoting me to a position and withholding the pay, and I am supposed to see that as something good. And you're looking all confused as to why I would turn it down. And I'm thinking, like, is it like, are people that stupid? Is that like people do this shit? Because I'm like, no, that's disrespect. Like, what are you talking? That's disrespectful. It is disrespectful. If anyone is allowing you to do that to them, they are allowing you to disrespect them. And what I don't do is allow anybody to disrespect me, and we continue to associate. Because I can't stop you from doing what you want to do or say what you want to do. But what I can do is remove myself from the situation. That's what I can do. I am in control of my own actions. So if I feel disrespected in a particular space, I'm not going to argue with the people in the space, because that doesn't make any sense. What do you think is going to happen when you argue with them and it just going to make you look stupid, and it's not going to cause them to respect you anymore. It's going to cause them to even probably be more disrespectful. So what you do, you quietly remove yourself. And when they notice that, wait a minute, you're not there, then that is when now you'll see they come and they'll start give you the respect. Oh, I'm so sorry, we noticed that you didn't. Because they realize, oh, you're not standing up for the bullshit. And it's a thing that happened like everywhere I go to work, and people always wonder how I was being treated differently. Like, was it, am I their favorite? And I'm like, no, I don't know these people. We are not friends. I don't talk to them. But I set the precedent from day one. I am not in servitude to anybody. I never acted as if I was beneath anybody. And this is what a lot of people do. They get a job and they start to treat the manager like God. You're bowing down and I don't know. I don't GM the first day, GM manager, I don't give a shit. Of course I'm not gonna go with attitude or whatever, but the way I carry myself, we're on the same level. You're not above me because the last time I checked, you were not God Almighty. So I am not going to, kind of like act subservient to you. And they pick, I am your peer. You are my peer. I respect you. You respect me. And guess what? That is how they treat me. And the other staff just looking on and they don't understand what's going on, why them not talk to you the way them talk to me, how them not disrespect you the way them disrespect me, view of them. I'm like, I don't know them, I don't talk to them like that. But when we have an encounter, it's always cordial and professional because that's the standard that I have set. You guys didn't set that standard, so them talk to Uno how them feel like talk to Uno. It is just that simple. I can only advocate for myself and set the boundaries. I know what my boundaries are, and I set them. I don't know what your boundaries are. So if they're talking to you in a way that you feel is disrespectful, it's on you to address it. I can't address it for you. And that is what a lot of people don't know. That once you find yourself in a situation where you are being disrespected or you feel disrespected, it is for you to put a pin in it. Deal with it immediately. Because sometimes people let things fester on them, ignore it the first time. No. The first time somebody tries you, you clock it. And they, oh, we're just kidding. But I don't know if you were kidding or not. I'm just letting you know, don't do that again. We're not about that life. You do it every single time on the first time with anybody you feel is disrespecting you. The first, even if they're like, because more often than in most cases, they make it seem as if, oh, I was just joking. And I'm like, me not really business if you're a joker or not. Me just make you know, don't do that. Don't do that. And guess what happened? Never happens again. Because they're always going to make it seem as if, oh, they were just kidding and they're just making a little joke. Not with me. I see right through you. You're not going to do that. And I do it all the time. And so in my interactions with everybody, people always wonder, why is it that I am treated differently as opposed to everybody else? And I'm like, because I set my boundaries and I don't compromise on them. So from the first encounter, because people are going to test your when you just meet someone, they're going to test your boundaries. They're going to try you to see how far, what they can get away with. It happens all the time. And the moment you find that you just meet somebody and they step over a line, you have to let them know, oh, there's a line, you cross the line, you need to go back over there. The first instant it happens, because if you're like, you just let it go, trust me, they're going to continue to do it, and it's going to be, once they put their foot across the line, it's going to be very difficult for you to get them to go back over if you didn't address it in the first place. Once it happens the first time and you address it, it will never happen again. I guarantee you. It won't happen again, because they're going to remember that first time and they're going to know where the boundary is, and they're always going to stay, just beyond that border and not cross it. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to me, and I guess I will see you in my next live.